Good morning from New Zealand. It is Monday morning here, and I can't believe I'm about to start my work week with the conversation about the books that turned me into a full-time author after 35 years of being a corporate marketer, consumer marketer. Here we are about to make a big announcement. It's both exciting and a little sad. So first up, if you are not a reader of my vampires, um, these are the books if you don't know them. Then nothing changes, everything's staying the same. Lots of juicy books to come. I have over 55 books now as I finish Ashes of Saints today on here the 5th of May 2025 in New Zealand. So if you are a vampire reader, one of my Moretti Blood Brothers series readers, stay here. I've got some news to share with you. If it's late or you're busy, you can skip this video, but you may want to hear what I have to say anyway. So, hello world. I know I have readers from all different countries around the world. Blows my mind that you guys like reading what I have to say, and I have never been more grateful for anything in my life than the ability to write my stories and have you guys love them back. It's such a win-win in my mind. So, here we are, and when I woke up this morning, it's just about 10 o'clock here in New Zealand in the morning. I thought the first thing that popped into my mind was all good things come to an end, um, and that it's true. And unfortunately, the time has come to say goodbye to the Moretti Blood Brothers. I didn't know when it was going to happen, and I have been resisting it and just crying about it for since probably the first book I ever wrote. That's probably not true. I did start thinking about it, and I think book 4 or 5, thinking when is this gonna end? And while officially the Vampire's Soul is going to be book number 14, it's about the 17th book I've written in the series because there are some bonuses and some short stories in there as well. And of course, all the character interviews and the 4.5 years that we have spent with these vampires, they have been a very big part of my life. And I know for many of yours. And you guys are the most loyal fans. You love these guys and girls with as much passion, I think, as I do. So, yes, The Vampire's Storm is the second to last book. It is out now, obviously, because I'm holding it in my hot little hands. Sorry, it is very sunny here today, of course. And that means that in June next month, when I release The Vampire's Soul, it will be the last book of the Moretti Blood Brothers series. Yeah. I feel like I need to say sorry, but the truth of the matter is that I can't write a book or more books that are forced. And I thought about this a lot over the weekend. I think, many of us, and possibly most of us, have read books from authors that have been forced for one reason or another, and I don't want to be that author. I have the premise of the Moretti Blood Brothers is that they are not known by the humans, and their aside from the romance, the ongoing story arc is that they are constantly trying to stay hidden um, while dealing with their own villains and bad guys. And for 14 books, I have come up with creative ideas of how they get out of that. And um, I think if I kept making up concepts. They're just going to be awkward, not feel realistic, not be enjoyable for me to write. For those of you that are creatives, whether you're a writer or a painter or a sculptor, you can't force creativity. It's very uncomfortable to write. And I am a true believer in energy in everything I do in my life, and you guys will feel it when you're reading it. I don't, even though you want more of these books, and listen, I would love to keep writing them, but the reality is um, the story has come to its natural end. You'll know that if you have read The Vampire Storm and all the books before it. Um, so Mac's book will be the last one in June, and I am about to start writing it in 2 or 3 days. So this felt like the right time to share that with you. I wanted you to know as soon as I had 100% made my decision. Um, Yeah, I honestly thought there was going to be about two or three more books, maybe, well, probably two. I always had two in my head, and Geo um, Moretti was going to be the last one. But every time I try and think about what his story would be, apart from just a standard romance without any kind of storyline, there isn't. Bringing him back just felt, I don't know, it really there just wasn't a reason. It just felt very science fiction or even fantasy. These are not fantasy books, these are paranormal romance. So yeah, so that's where we're at. You will get, I already have a concept of what the story will be for the Vampire's Soul, obviously mixed romance. So that's a given. But I'm not going to give any spoilers today because I kind of don't know it all yet, as I've shared with you guys many times. These vampires write these books. But Ari Moretti, of course, Braden and Craig will all play an enormous part in this book. Um, there will be an end. There will be a conclusion, aside from the always happy ever after in all of these books for the romance, but there will be a conclusion. And I know you're all going to be asking, is there going to ever be a legacy series, or will you write more in the future? I don't know. I do not know. I don't think so. But I don't know. But I don't think so is the bigger truth in that. But never say never. All good things come to an end. And what the great part about this is many of you have read my other 50 something books. And I have, we started with Braden. I'm going to share some of the earlier covers that some of you won't have seen. This was the first cover in January 2021. I think it was March. The Vampire King came first. If you haven't read that, you can actually grab that on the book retailers. I think it's a 99-cent novella. It is the kind of prologue to the stories. It's not necessary for you to read, but a great read if you want to know the depth of the story. So that was the original cover. I have changed this book's cover so many times. Like, it's the only one that never really stuck. This was the second one for Braden. Um, and then, of course, we've landed just with a slight tweak, and this is the current one. So will I have new covers? And if I do some collector's editions and stuff like that, could possibly happen. I'll keep you all informed, of course. So yeah, you guys have been incredibly loyal. You love these vampires. They are the essence of them, I think, aside from the fact that they're powerful vampires, is that they're warriors and they're alpha and they love so passionately and they're powerful, possessive, and highly protective. Looking at you, Craig. Um, and um, and you get that in many of my other books, especially the Black Hawk Security series. If you haven't read my military series and you're not necessarily a contemporary reader, you love your paranormal romance, give them a try because honestly, my paranormal romance, I've always said, I'm the worst paranormal romance author in the world because they're really just big, powerful men who love with these sassy females. That is exactly what all my other books are about. Now, I have brought many contemporary readers who never read paranormal romance over to these guys, and you would love them so much. And of course, it's a wonderful find because then you've got 13, nearly 14 books to read. So I really highly encourage you, if you are feeling sad and you haven't read my other series, try the Black Hawk Security, starting with The Seal. The Seal is a free book. And then there's The Bodyguard, The Marine, and now The Soldier with tons more. There could be 14, 15, 20 books in the series. I have so many ideas for that one. Um, and then the Dark Kings of New York City. Now, it is a mafia romance series, but they are US Marines undercover in a crime family world. So you can see a trend happening here. I am really a romantic suspense romance writer, um, because there's these military, essence to everything I write. Even my billionaires, and those of you that have read the Fort Dynasty, know that I have threaded through, some suspense in some of them. Some of them are more leaning towards the kind of, the dark, kinky stuff with wicked praise and total possession and and so on. But in many of those 9 books in the Default Dynasty series, there is the guys from now you guys are going to correct me if I get this wrong, from Black Hawk Security. Josh and Aiden both show up in those, I think. Um, I don't think I had put the no, the Dark Kings haven't, but Dark Kings are threaded through many of my series. So you get 55 books that I've written 4.5 years. Please don't test me on my knowledge. I've just moved house, so my brain is not great. This is a really long video. Thank you for staying. If you have stuck around for this long, um, I really wanted to talk about all the things to make sure that I covered it. And thank you guys. If it wasn't for Braden, who came to me one day, I don't often share this. This is the first story that I wrote during the pandemic. This is the Archangel's Heart. I am sorry, it is no longer on sale. This is a special video, so I am sharing this today. It is not on sale. I rewrote it and republished it and recovered it, and they still just didn't sell that well. But for the 7.5 of you that absolutely love it, I'm joking. There's way more. Um, the sad thing about it is the second book is just one of my best books I've ever written, but most people don't go on to the second one. So that's just an inside behind the scenes business kind of share there. But when I was writing that book and testing in the group before I published my very first book, which was The Vampire King, The Vampire Prince came to me. So I wrote Braden's story first and published it first. And you guys bought it. Lots and lots and lots of you bought it. Blew my mind. I had no idea you could make money by being an author unless, I don't know, you were someone else but me. So thank you, Braden. Thank you guys, all of you, for continuing to buy all my books, for continuing to love these vampires. They aren't disappearing. They're still going to be there. You can reread them. I don't get anything out of it. I'm not a KU author. You just keep reading your books. I don't care. As long as you love these stories, that's why I do it. So there are many, many, many great stories coming. Like I say, if you like the essence of these, um, try the Black Hawk Security. Try the Dark Kings of New York City. The Darkest King, by the way, in the New York City, Dark Kings of New York City Mafia is also free. So you can try those series. You can try those first books for free and see if you like it and then continue reading if you do. But yeah, 55 books. One more vampire book to come. The Vampire Soul is coming out in June, and it's going to be, I hope, a really amazing, wonderful end to the series. And all I can say is thank you so much for being incredibly loyal readers, for loving these vampires as much as I do, for having fun with them all. They are just incredible characters. And I'm going to say I am so proud of myself for creating them because I think, where on earth did they come from? I had no idea that it was inside of me. I'm in my early 50s, and who knew that they were hiding in this crazy brain all that time? But there is a trillion more characters that are knocking on the door waiting for their stories to be told. And it's time for the Meridian Blood Brothers to be put to bed, to say goodbye, and to see what else comes up so we can keep enjoying really amazing characters rather than forcing something that has naturally come to its end. So thank you so much for listening. Happy reading, as I always say. And for those of you that aren't in my readers group, then I recommend go to my website, www.juliettebanks.com, and there is a links in there that will take you to sign up for my newsletter or come into my private readers group where we share and just celebrate all these fun characters, including the vampires. If you do see someone called Craig Giordani in there being a smart aleck or smart ass, trying to think of the words that are generic across the world, um, that's Braden's best friend, Craig, the vampire protector. So I've had a few people being like, who's this guy? And I'm like, oh, that's one of my characters. That's how realistic they are to us. So yeah, all right, you guys, I'm going to wrap this up. It's nearly 15 minutes. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for loving these books. And please, I really highly recommend you dive into some of my other stories and just see if they're for you. Those first ones are free. And if you love them, stick around. If you don't, then I hope you find another wonderful paranormal romance series and keep reading the Meridian Blood Brothers and seeing what else you discover as you reread them a second or third time. You can also get the box sets, by the way, if you want your collection. And yeah, tell me if you would like some special collectors things and stuff like that. I really don't have a lot of time to be creating those right now. It's because I am publishing monthly, but in the next year or so, there might be some opportunities for me to do that. So we'll just see what happens. All right, see you later, guys. Happy reading.